On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And here we are back on the couch.
Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, a real week for you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, New York.
We had a great time.
We had a great time.
In New York.
Overall, until the last few hours. We'll talk about that in a minute, but
It was really fun to be in the city in September. We had fun.
it was such an easy time getting to the airport.
We drove ourselves, which was a game changer, in my opinion. It felt so nice to just pull up to the airport, park, because we were only there for a little bit, but we got there on Friday. We vlogged the entire thing. There's like a 20-minute vlog on our Patreon.
Yes. We got so lucky with our seats there. We didn't have anybody in between us.
We did.
We did get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got lucky on the way there. That was nice because we could just sit there and do our crossword puzzles and watch our movies together.
We watched Devil Wears Prada.
What was the one we watched?
Oh, The Hitman.
The Hitman.
That was good.
It was good.
I mean, it's not, it's not groundbreaking, whatever, but like, it was really entertaining. I had a great time watching it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I love Glenn Powell too.
He's a cutie.
And then we got there on Friday. We did all the things. But that night we ended up...
Wait, we ate at that Mel's place.
Yes, it's all in the vlog. But we were going to go to one of my friends' husbands was getting married. One of my friends, her husband, it was his 30th birthday. And so a bunch of my friends were going. They were doing like a dinner, which I knew we wouldn't make because our flight got in a little later, but we were going to meet up with them afterwards. And so I text one of my other good friends and I'm like, hey, where are you at? And she's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm walking by, this hotel. And she said, oh my God, I'm at a party at the Electric Room, which is right underneath the hotel.
It's so funny, just to stop you or to interrupt you, but like, I'm born and raised in LA. I just feel like I never got the New York experience. And although you've never lived in New York, you have spent so much time there because of your previous job. And you have such a great group of friends there that like, I feel like I got to have the New York experience. Like, because nowhere here, you're like, you walk around and it's like, oh, I'm at a party here. Or
Totally.
That's
like the fun part about New York. And it's why I think like if I was in my 20s, I would love to live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. Right after my mom passed away, I was offered by the company that I worked for a job in New York.
Yeah.
I remember like my boss at the time and her boss had come out to LA and they set up a meeting to like have brunch or something. And I went and they were like, okay, so we're thinking this. It was a great position. It was a raise. It was everything. But it involved me moving to New York. And
at the time, it just would have been.
I declined because
yeah.
As much fun as it would have been and as great as it would have been, I just needed to be close enough to my family at the time. And from here, it's either a 5.5, 6 hour drive or a 50-minute flight to get home.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It's like so much was already changing in your life at that point.
If it had been like a year later, maybe I would have. Or if it had been even probably a couple months before, I probably would have.
Right.
It just never worked out for me to actually live there. But I think during your 20s would be the most fun. I feel like at this point in my life, I love having a house and a yard and just not being constantly surrounded by chaos. But there is a fun chaos to New York where I feel like if I'm in New York, I can text my group chat and like someone is within a radius of me.
A part of me feels like New York fits you. Like me, I'm slower just with everything. Like I'm slower. You're fast. You're like, okay, let's go. Even when you walk, you're fast. Like I feel like you fit in with a New York vibe.
Don't they say gay people walk fast?
No, honey, they walk like, ooh.
And she's canceled.
They're light in their
And she's
loafers.
done. Well, you're doing that PD walk.
What's the PD walk?
Pre-diabetic walk, honey. You're 10 feet behind me. Come on. It's all in good jest. All in good jest. No, but yeah, you're definitely a dilly-dallier.
I am a dilly-dallier, confused and distracted.
And I'm just always running on inside. I'm like, let's go. We gotta go. But
Like when we're in the airport. We told this a long time ago. But you're like, okay, let's go. Like you've taught me to be a good traveler because you're like, okay, let's look at this. Okay, we're going to do this. Da, 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 da. And like we get there. We've never been late for a flight or anything. And we're on the escalator. I'm way behind and my suitcase flies down the escalator.
that's just like the epitome of you, honestly. But we're a good team, though.
Totally.
We're a good team.
Yeah.
Your strengths are my weaknesses. And
Vice versa.
Yeah. Yep. All of this to say, I text my friend. She says she's
Oh,
at
yeah.
this place. We go and we meet up. We're all of a sudden we're at a 50th birthday party.
Oh, it was so fun. Well, wait, first of all, you're like, oh, it's this club. I know this club. And you take me down some garage with trash bags everywhere. And
That's
like,
the entrance.
I know. I'm like, wait, where are we going? You're like, it's down here. I'm like, this is so New York.
It reminds me of like Stefan from SNL. It's like,
With his hands
New York's
over his...
hottest club is going to be down this alleyway. You'll see the 2 trash cans to the side. Push the button. And a little door will open. But yeah, they were playing all the throwbacks in there. It was for like a friend of a friend's husband. It's also, and I don't know. We had a great time though. You threw back a few margs and then
Oh my gosh,
we danced.
We left there with glowing necklaces on.
Yeah.
You had one on your head.
Oh, time of my life.
We had such a great time. They were so nice too to just let us come in and
Oh yeah. It was such a fun time. And then we had like brunch with our agent, walked around on Saturday a little bit, and then we did the show.
wait, went into the most beautiful CVS. I mean, it wasn't the most beautiful CVS. It was the most beautiful building
Yes.
That is-
a beautiful CVS.
that a gross CVS is located
Yeah.
in.
But then, yeah, we did our show. All was fine. We met up with my friends afterwards, and we were supposed to go to this really good restaurant that all my friends were at. But by the time the meet and greet got over and we got out of the venue, it was like almost 11 o'clock. So we went to this diner that I've been to a million times because I used to always take this one flight to New York when I would go there for work, and I would get in late. And all of my friends lived in Chelsea, so we would go to this one diner.
Mm-hmm.
We just like got gross late night food and then went back to the hotel.
Yes. And so we're sitting there, and our server, Willie, was so cute, so sweet, loved him. Now I may have to put a hit out on him.
We were chanting at one point, Willie, Willie.
Yeah, he was
He was great.
such a doll. It's not his fault. I'm kidding. But I remember Spence sitting there. I didn't tell you this, but I was thinking back on it because I have flashbacks. And I remember sitting there and just like having such a good time, right? Talking to your friends, and I love them. Like just we were all laughing. And then I was really quiet towards the end. And now when I look back, I'm like, okay, well now it'll make sense. And then when I was saying goodbye to your friends, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just hit a wall.
Uh-huh.
Like
I mean, but also in fairness, we did just do a show.
so tired, but like my body was starting to get really sore. Maybe it was just from walking. I don't know.
Well, I'll fill in the next blank.
Okay.
We go back to the hotel. We go to sleep. I usually wake up first.
Uh-huh.
And so I woke up. I like went downstairs at the hotel, got my coffee, went back to my room and finished packing. And I texted you like, hey, girly, you up? And at first you weren't responding. And in my head, I was like, oh, come on, girl. Like, I don't want to have to compound on your door, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
But then I get a phone call. And
At like 7 a.m. I was up at 6 a.m.
she was bawling.
I was crying, you guys. And it's embarrassing. But I was
No, you were suffering.
suffering. I woke up at 6 a.m. that morning, had to puke. And I was like, oh God, I was like, did I drink too much yesterday? Like, why am I throwing up, you know? And so I was like, I'll just go throw up and then try to get a couple more hours of sleep because we had a plane to catch in a few hours.
We had to leave at 8:40.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I guess I just drank too much. And then it wouldn't stop. And then the other end.
Oh,
And it would not stop. And then just feel it, like the cramps, the body ache, like everything, the sweating.
chills,
Everything. I got in the shower and was like, okay, I think this will make me feel better. And I had Gatorade. I was like, I'll have some Gatorade. Everything kept coming up for like an hour. Then I called you.
And
then it didn't stop for hours.
Well, I was running around because, like, initially for the first, like, 30-ish minutes, I think we were trying to figure out, is this first flight going to happen? And it wasn't looking like it, but still, I was like, what do you need, you know? And I ran.
Yeah,
I
were
kept
up
running
and down,
yeah. like, bringing you stuff.
I was on, like, the 22nd floor, too, which was...
But I didn't even want to see you. So I would, like, run. I would put stuff by your door, and then I'd text you, and I'd be like, it's by your door. It's by your door. It's by your door. And then you called.
Oh, wait, I was fully, that whole time for probably 6 hours, had the shower. I was laying in the shower the whole time. So I would answer the door naked,
Just didn't
grab
care.
my things, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, when you're in that kind of situation, you don't give a fuck.
We were laughing, not about your situation last year, but just how you were saying, like, I didn't give two fucks. If
No, well, I mean, I had literal like sepsis, which
Yeah.
like is food poisoning times
1,000. Yeah.
and I was in the hospital just fucking on a commode, they call it, which is a walker with a toilet on it, and like doctors would walk in, and I'd be like, okay, like I don't know what to tell you.
It truly. So I called down and was like, I have to stay another night to the hotel, and they're like, okay, like you can. And then you thankfully were like, okay, we can totally stay, but let's just move our flight back to see maybe it'll pass.
Like give it a couple hours, see if you can get on a plane. Because as miserable as traveling with food poisoning is,
Yeah.
also the idea of being in your own bed, I know also always
Yep.
sounds really good.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, you kept saying, you're like, go, go.
Well, because I was like, I'm going to be no use. Like, I'm going to be in this
Hotel room.
hotel room. Like, I don't care what. I wish someone would come in because it was the absolute worst. But then I had to call the poor JetBlue lady to rebook my ticket. And I'm on the phone with her. Oh, also, I asked you to get me activated charcoal because I was like, okay, I think that'll be good for my stomach. So I took that and it was just jet black throw up now. It was just regular throw up, but jet black. So I'm on the phone with the JetBlue lady and I'm like, hi.
Like Exorcist.
Oh, it was full blown Exorcist. I was like, hi, I need to change my flight. And I'm barely I can barely fucking function. And I'm like trying to be nice. And she's like, okay, I just need your credit card. And I'm like, hold on. And like
Just
I
vomiting.
start like so for like 30 seconons.
And then you're like, 3, 2, 4.
Yeah, and then I got back on. I couldn't mute it. I couldn't anything. And she was like, okay. I was like, yeah, okay, here's my credit card number. And then the other end starts. And I'm like, I can't do this, but I was able to do it.
Moved the flight a couple hours. Well, then I told you too. I'm like, also think we're going to be in an Uber. Can you handle sitting in an Uber right now? Like, and she was in the backseat. I said, I'm not sitting next to her because I didn't know what was going to happen. And so I sat in the front seat with the guy and I was like,
Well, wait, yeah. So finally I was like, okay, I think everything's out of my system. And I sat on the bed and had a talk with myself. I'm like, you have to do this. You have got to get on that airplane or you're going to be here all week and you're going to spend thousands of dollars. Like truly, the hotels
is
were
expensive. Yeah.
And so I was like, you just fucking have to do this. So, and usually when I clean up a room when I'm leaving and pack, I like double check everything. I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, they can have anything they want. Like,
If I left my
get me home.
laptop, oh well.
Oh well, I don't care. So we got in the Uber, and yeah, you asked to sit in the front seat, and the Uber driver was so nice, and
She was just in the backseat trying not to throw up the whole time.
the whole time
But we made it to our later flight,
we made it
home.
in my I took the plane ride in my pajamas.
When I was dropping her off at her house, Cisco had like come to open the door for her. And I said, take her, please. And he was like, no, I don't want her.
Yeah.
Don't give her to me.
He was in for it because when I got home, I was like, okay, nothing's in my stomach. I'm home now. Like, I need to be hydrated. So he made me like a liquid IV. And as soon as I drank the liquid IV, I'm exorcist again, all over. And he's cleaning stuff up with a mop. He's like, I thought you were over exaggerating. Like, I didn't realize. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking sick, man.
Oh, God, just the worst.
But we went to the doctor and everything is good. It was just good old food poisoning. And
we're getting on a plane tomorrow morning.
and I have Zofran for that and not contagious. Don't have anything, weird. Just don't eat veggie burgers. But you told me that you think the veggie burger is what? I don't remember. I didn't remember that.
So when I got sick last year, it was from, I believe, a veggie burger because that was my
Like the
entree.
cherry on top.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a diner veggie burger. I was at a really nice restaurant. And the problem I think is I have a conspiracy kind of that I believe to be true about veggie burgers is I think a lot of veggie burgers are still made with some sort of dairy or egg to hold it together. And I think a lot of restaurants don't treat them like they do with meat. They don't keep them in the freezer always, or they don't cook them thoroughly.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And so I think that they were just kind of careless with it. And because we go to this one restaurant sometimes and I used to eat their veggie burger and you're like, oh, are you going to get a veggie burger? And now I will never eat there because I'm like, no, I don't feel like they cook theirs all the way. And I'm kind of neurotic with that. I'm pretty good with food. I can tolerate a lot, but I don't eat at risky places where I feel like they're not taking the utmost protection.
Right.
But yeah, that was gnarly. You've been laid out pretty much all week.
Yeah, and I was telling you, I'm like, I'm fucking traumatized. It's scary being in a hotel room across the country and like not knowing what your body's going to do next. And I'm like, I can't even imagine because I know your situation was like times 100, just like on scary scale. But like, I definitely am way more cautious. Like the only thing that sounds appetizing to me is sourdough toast with cinnamon sugar on it, which is not good for the pre-diabetes.
The PD.
And for some reason, chicken noodle soup from Panera has been has been like my go-to, but all of our spoons were in the dishwasher. And so they gave us plastic spoons. I washed those. I'm like, I'm not fucking taking any chances.
No, it's honestly, I will say, like when I got home from the hospital, I was still very much like my body had gone through that shock, like literal like it had been like shock. And like for the first couple weeks, I ate pretty much the most plain same things every day, but it was also stuff I made myself. It took me a while to be able to go out to eat again. And I feel like I didn't even go out to eat until I was forced to because we were in Tampa for our show. So it was like a good month before I was even really eating out or anything.
Yeah.
But I've always been pretty psychotic about washing my hands, but I feel like that experience made it even
now
tenfold because
after you told me, you said to me, you're like, anytime you throw up anything, wash your hands. Like even if you get back in the shower, like wash your hands because you can reinfect. And
or you can like reintroduce bacteria to yourself. And that's true. I mean, I spoke to a literal infectious disease specialist who came and talked to me when I was in the hospital and they were just like talking about it, but
it's fucking wild,
it's
man.
Wild. There's nothing worse because I think having a cold or something is like
sucks,
whatever. Yeah, it's annoying or it feels shitty to be run down. But even then, or even like a flu, a lot of times it's kind of like I can still do my day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But stomach stuff, it puts you fucking out. You don't want to do anything.
Not knowing what fluid is going to come out of what hole at any given moment is so scary.
Yeah, sorry if you're eating during
I know.
this.
I apologize.
We'll leave it. We'll leave it
We'll
there.
leave it there.
but
Oh,
glad you're
speaking
okay.
of food,
Uh-huh.
I was editing last week's episode.
Oh God, we were talking.
And I was like,
we were talking about food.
food.
I know. Gnarly.
I know.
Anyway,
How was your week?
great.
Crazy.
Well, no, I mean, like, we
Catching
got home. I've had a good week. I've just been fucking working out and just doing the shows. Doing my little thing. I know, I felt so bad for you, but it's just like, yeah.
No, I'm such a baby too when
When you're sick, you're kind of like how, people are like, oh, man, baby. Like when men get colds,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, yeah. You get touchy. Like you get like,
I'm sensitive. I want to cry.
Uh-huh.
I just want my mom.
I didn't answer the phone one day and she texted me a picture of her looking like she was going to cry. And she said, please call me back or I'm going to cry. I was like, oh my God. Okay.
Truly. I am such a baby, but
But you didn't feel good.
Girl.
Because you had stuff coming in and going out. And speaking of assholes, I'm just going to get into them.
Oh my God. I don't want to deal with an asshole ever again.
These are the good kind of assholes. Well, we'll see, actually. It says, am I the asshole for not putting my grandma in my father's obituary?
Okay.
It says, just a week and a half ago, my father, an Iraq War disabled veteran, passed away tragically at the age of 40. Since then, our family has been arguing on whether or not his mom, my grandma, should be included in the obituary. For starters, my father always told me and my siblings and stepmom how much he hated his mom and how she had abandoned him at a young age. She had never been present in his life short for a few times when he was younger. He also had issues with her always trying to be the center of attention, making his life and achievements about her when she barely contacted him. So when it came time to discuss his obituary, my siblings and stepmom decided that he would not have wanted to give her the credit of mom in the obituary. Since then, his brother has told us it would be the right thing to do and that she deserves a place in the obituary, and alongside him, trying to convince my grieving stepmom, she, my dad's mom, also messaged her wondering why she was not included. Once they had both done that, I decided to get them together in a group chat and explain that we would hear no further from them about the topic and that our decision is final. We wanted to respect what we believe are our father's and my stepmom's husband's wishes. My uncle ended up leaving the group chat angry. That was yesterday, and when we woke up today, we found out that she had created her own obituary excluding his brother by choice that we had decided to include and his military friends. Her description of my father was untrue and false as she had not spoken to him in depth in almost 10 years. Her daughter / his sister created it and had issues with me, my sister, and my biological mom in the past on our comments of our grandmother's absence in our lives, especially my youngest brother who is 9, who has never met her. I put out a Facebook post informing friends and family of the situation with the real obituary and told them not to follow theirs as it was not his accurate description. His mom and sister are planning on attending the funeral, and I'm unsure after everything if me and my sister / stepmom will be able to keep calm with them attending the funeral. The funeral is also public, so we will not be able to keep her from coming, but we're worried they'll start drama during the hardest time of our lives. So am I the asshole for excluding her? And am I the asshole for not wanting her to come to the funeral this weekend?
This sounds like the opposite side of the one you did last week, where the girl was like, my stepmom wants to leave my real mom out of the obituary.
Oh,
and we're
yeah.
You can just do your own.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I would be pissed if these people did it, or that they did another obituary. I think, sure, leave them out if they left you out of the other one. And I think you can also, even if it's a public funeral, kick them out.
If shit gets started, but I'm also like, I mean, it sounds like this person's dad really didn't have a good relationship with his mom at all. And so I understand them wanting to exclude her from things. But at the same time, everyone's emotionally heightened. And we always say obituaries, funerals, those are for the living.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier to just let things go. I remember there was actually an instance with an obituary in my family before where I said, I'm like, should we include this person in the obituary? I remember my dad being like, yeah, we have to. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certainly people I wish we could omit from obituaries. Post obituary.
Yeah. With a big black line through their name.
Yeah, just cross out that name. All right, this next one says, am I the asshole for celebrating my pregnancy at my friend's mom's funeral?
God. Okay.
I am 29 and I've been with my husband for 4 years. Me and my husband have been trying for a child since before we were married and have been unsuccessful. My friend Sean and his girlfriend Marie have been very supportive during that time. Me and Sean have been friends since high school and I've known him and his family for years. His mother was never the nicest towards me and harassed me constantly. She called me names like Miss Piggy and Sean would never say anything about it, but I understood because that was his mother. However, I stopped going to his mother's house after our last interaction when she found out that I had been trying to have a child with my husband. Make sure you use a DNA test. You never know with this one. My heart was shattered and I could never face his family again. I obviously continued to be friends with Sean and I also kept trying for a baby. About 5 months after the interaction with Sean's mother, we found out that I was pregnant. I only told the people closest to me, like family. 2 weeks ago, Sean's mother passed and we attended the funeral. I found it disrespectful to not accept the invite, so I went. I was very uncomfortable considering I didn't like the woman and most of the attendees knew she wasn't a fan of me either. A couple of people gave me weird looks and made snarky comments, but I just ignored it. I can already tell this girl just thinks she's the main character. She is obsessed with thinking everyone's thinking about her.
Yeah.
I haven't read this yet. I was very excited about it and was happy to speak about it, but when Sean's girlfriend Marie heard, she said, "How disgusting. If only Renee, Sean's mother, could hear this." I found this very confusing since she'd been so supportive prior to today. I asked her if she had something to say to me, and that's when she went off. She called me disrespectful. Sean came over to try and calm her down, but then Marie said, "Renee was right about you. You're a hussy." And that's when I said, "I sure hope my baby isn't the reincarnate of that bitch."
Oh my God.
Sean, this is wild. Sean yelled at me and told me to leave. I tried to apologize to him, but he won't reply. I've been thinking about this, and I'm concerned that this has ruined our friendship. So they want to know if they're the asshole for celebrating their pregnancy at their friend's mom's funeral. Yeah, you're a fucking asshole.
Wait, we have to break it down though.
Okay, so
wait. Okay, it's not okay that the deceased mom called you those names growing up and said things like that to you. Although Miss Piggy is iconic. So love her. Okay, that's that. If I was in that situation, if I got an invite to this woman who I do not like and who the family knows I don't like and vice versa, I would say to my friend, "Hey, I love you. If you need me to be there, I will be there for you. But come on, I think she would want me to sit this one out." And I would probably not go.
Yeah, either that or if you're going to go sit in the back, say your condolences, leave.
Right.
Don't announce your pregnancy to people and...
Yeah, okay, wait. So that's where I'm confused because I'm like, did she really celebrate it or was she asked?
Well, she said a group of women came up to me and made comments about my pregnancy. So she had probably already...
She probably came in.
Posted about it. She probably wore a shirt that said, "Mommy."
Or like one spirit goes, but another one's cooking.
I mean, it's crazy to get in a fight, though, and it's crazy to start drama. And this girl,
yeah,
I do see why the mom didn't like her.
Oh.
She sounds like trouble. If you're starting shit at a funeral and you're saying, "I sure hope my baby isn't the reincarnate of that bitch," you're trouble. She added an edit that said, "I understand how this could be hard to understand, so I'll try to clear this up. I didn't want to be disrespectful, so I went to the funeral to support my friend. I'm one of the only friends he invited. I wasn't going to bring up my pregnancy, but other people brought it up and I was excited about it. I guess I got caught up in the moment. I know what I said was inappropriate and understand where you guys are coming from," because she got voted the asshole. And then she said, "I was not going to the funeral with the intent of bragging about my pregnancy. I went to support my friend. I may not have liked Renee, but I do like Sean. I don't understand why everyone's focused on the fact of me being there. I don't see how that's a problem." I think most people were like, well, why'd you even go? If you had beef with, I wouldn't have gone. I would have been sick. I have COVID.
I have food poisoning.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's messy. I think it's drama. This person sounds like drama. But even just like the fact that like she walked in and it's like multiple people were staring at me and like
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You're not that big a deal.
Right. Right.
That's what my mom used to tell me. If I would call her and I'd be like, oh, I think this, she'd be like, you're not that big a deal.
Well, we were talking about that, how I don't think anybody enjoys flying. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that do, but like for the most part, I think everyone's a little like, okay, I got to get on this airplane.
It's like public transportation.
Yeah.
Who wants, it's
Yeah.
like, I got to do it.
But like whenever I've had fears like, oh my God, is this thing going down or whatever? We've talked about like, you really think you're that special? That 1 in 2 million that's gonna go down? Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing that I think we need to breathe more of into society. Get over yourself a little more.
Yeah.
Life's not that serious.
Oh, I think about that like in school when there was like 2 cool people. I'd be like, you guys all go to the bathroom.
Yep. We all do it.
You all do.
We're all susceptible to food poisoning.
Yeah. It's all like we're all gross.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just bugs. I've said that so
You've
many
said
times.
that, yeah.
But we're just, who cares?
Who cares?
We care.
We care. We do.
That's like when people are haters. We don't get a lot of haters, but we get some. And when they do, I'm just like, why are you saying this? Why'd you write that comment?
Girl.
Why'd you write that review? Why'd you write that comment?
Uh-huh.
Why'd you write that message to us or that email?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, did that feel good? Okay.
Yeah.
We're not the ones.
No.
We're not the ones who are going to sit and be like, let me think about this.
Yeah.
We're going to clown on you is what we're going to do.
Uh-huh. And we're going to look you up.
Yeah. Oh, we're looking you up and we're clowning on you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We've done it a few times.
And we'll
if
do it
you're
again.
private, we'll screenshot the picture. We'll zoom in.
We'll
honey.
zoom in and we'll be like, okay. Makes sense. Because guess what? People that are happy and radiate happiness are not writing mean shit online.
No.
You're a loser
It's
if you write mean
wild.
shit online.
Wild.
Especially a podcast. Come on.
Come on.
It's free. Don't listen. If you don't like it, don't listen.
I agree. Okay, so I have a listener email,
Uh-huh.
but I have a request to you
Okay.
to do a part 2 of something because you have gotten me down a rabbit hole with your astrology episode.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with the presidential election, coming up here, we're not going to get political at all, but the predictions have just been crazy. Like, I mean, even on Fox News, they had that psychic, like, reading tarot cards. And then they had someone on CNN, like, doing the same thing. And just crazy. And there's people reading charts, like the astrology, like birth charts. And I didn't know this, that the United States has a birth chart. Like, anything that has a start date has a birth chart.
Interesting.
So they're like reading that. And then there's like that guy who has gotten like 9 out of the 10 elections correct that he's predicted. He just put out his prediction.
What'd he say?
Kamala will win.
Oh, okay.
But that's like sent me down such a rabbit hole with this shit. And I'm requesting that you do an episode. It's an astrology one again, but I heard this story about the presidents that would use astrologers for things.
Uh-huh.
And there was a woman who was an astrologer who was Reagan's astrologer who was hired by his wife. And she told him, like, because remember he had like an assassination attempt?
Yeah.
Like, she told him, like, don't do something. This, like, does not look good in your chart. And he did. And he was attempted assassination. And then Kennedy,
Did he have an astrologer?
the same astrologer, I believe, went on national TV saying, do not go to Dallas, Kennedy. Do not.
Probably why there's so many conspiracies about it.
I know. So you have to do an episode on that because I guess presidents use astrologers.
That's wild.
Isn't that wild? Oh, okay, but wait, the listener email ties into this. It was so sad, but it just gave me chills. So it says, my sad astrology story. Hello, darlings. I just listened to the astrology episode and wanted to tell you about my experience. I was a vendor at Paracon a few years ago in Salem, and I was seated across from an astrologer. She would pull up your birth chart, knowing only your birthday, place, and time of birth, and read what was coming up for the year ahead. After a crappy day of low sales, I decided to use what little money I had made to get a quick 15-minute reading. She had mentioned some changes at work, which did happen, but what really got me was what she said next. The year ahead had the energy to take small pets away. She was very kind and gentle about saying it, and only wanted me to know because she felt it was important. This got me. I had 2 sick kitties at home. Roxy was diabetic and seemed to be doing well on her insulin treatment, and the Prinny was a stray we had taken in who developed some mysterious illness we were trying to treat. Well, within the year, my Roxy girl came down with throat cancer and I lost her. I'm sorry. And Prinny, a few months later, after finally getting a diagnosis, stopped eating, and I lost her too. Sorry for being a downer, but some happiness did come of it. I got my sage and maple because once a pet leaves you, it just means there's another one out there that needs you. Oh, I'll attach pics of all the kitties in this story. Thanks for always making me laugh. From Amber.
Oh.
And she attached her kitties.
Oh my God, little cuties.
So sweet. I love that saying at the end. But how crazy an astrologer told her, like, just based on your, I don't know.
Sad.
Sad, but crazy.
Also, that's why I don't like to know things.
I know, but you've sent me down, this is your fault. You've sent me down a rabbit hole. And now I'm like, okay, well, now I need to get my chart read.
You know, I know who doesn't want a part 2. That girl who commented.
That comment, I know, that's what I was saying.
She wasn't a hater. Listen, you can still be a Geoff. But someone did comment. They were like, that astrology was not it. That was so boring. I'm like, okay, girl. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. It's out. Don't listen to it then. You only have to endure it once, I promise.
Fast forward, you could have heard about people jumping out of windows,
Yeah,
girl.
just skip ahead, girl. Press that little button that goes 30 seconds plus.
Oh my God, have you ever listened to us on like ×2 speed?
Oh, I don't want to fucking listen to us ever.
Oh, it's the best. We sound like little chipmunks. Oh God. Okay, well.
I'm up first this week.
Yes, you are. Scared me.
You have a side bitch for us.
And she is such a beautiful lady. This was actually sent in by a Geoff named Rihanna. And this is from newsbreak.com. World's oldest cat dies at age 33. I know.
83.
33.
Oh my God, I think said 83.
83? Damn.
Like, damn, that's crazy. Well, you know, chimps, they have like a crazy lifespan.
We need to talk about chimp crazy.
We're going to do, yeah.
On Patreon.
Yeah, we'll do it on Patreon. We said that last week, but we're really recording that tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to record it.
But we did end up recording like a 40-minute one last week.
Oh, Patreon's being fed right now.
And she's going to keep being fed. Okay. A much-loved cat believed to be the oldest cat in the world has died, aged 33 years old. Rosie, a fluffy tortoise shell, passed away in the hallway of her home in Norwich, Norfolk, this week with proud owner Lila Brissett, 73, by her side. Born in 1991, she was the unofficial holder of the title of World's Oldest Cat, as the current holder is a 28-year-old cat, Flossie, from Kent, born in 1995. Flossie. Rosie turned 33 on June 1st this year and died at the equivalent age of 152 in human years.
Oh my God.
I know. Heartbroken, Lila, who adopted Rosie when she was a kitten, said, I miss her so much. She wasn't very well, and one day she just walked into the hallway of the house, laid down, and passed away. There were lots of good memories, though, and I'm happy we had our time together. Rosie loved eating and sleeping and was often found napping in the window of Lila's home as she became an indoor cat in her later years. Lila had been approached by a cat rescue in the 90s with Rosie as a kitten who needed rehoming after her first household realized their daughter was allergic. Lila, who was widowed, had previously rescued an abused cat and a stray dog, so happily welcomed Rosie into her home. Rosie's mom was a gray rag doll, which gave Rosie her bushy squirrel tail, and her dad is believed to have been a ginger Tom. She lived permanently indoors with Lila in her ground floor flat and was fed Purina One cat food daily, or she'll kick up a fuss. Lila said previously, she's quite a character. Rosie sleeps by the window all day, and like clockwork, she will have some food and use the litter tray. There's no need for an alarm clock. All she does is eat, sleep, use the litter tray, and repeat. I often have to check if she's still alive and breathing. I'm worried about the day she crosses over the Rainbow Bridge. She'll leave a big void. I'll miss her when she goes, but I'll never have her put down.
Aww.
Oh, sweet. Rosie.
Just 33.
Rosie was probably like, girl, put me down. 150. 150.
I'm 152, girl. I gotta go.
No. Oh, I love it. So sweet.
I love cats just as much as I love dogs, and I'm allergic to some cats. I like fully break out in hives. So
like that bad.
yeah.
Huh.
But it's always just random.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like I'll go to someone's house and I'm like, oh shit.
It's weird because, like,
People don't really have cats as much anymore, huh?
no, they do.
As much as I feel like people used to have more cats. Is there a cat shortage going on in this country? I need to know.
No.
I would love like a little ragdoll cat or something.
I would love a cat too. I love a ginger cat because I feel like they have so much personality. But our friend has a Maine Coon, Henry,
And Garbage.
and Garbage. But Garbage isn't a Maine Coon.
No. She's like a mix.
Yeah, but Henry's huge. Henry's like 17 pounds or something. And
You know, Carolyn has a Bengal.
oh, does she?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Then my friend Bree has the hairless one, and she said that her cat is more like a dog than her dog is.
I feel like because I like the Cholo dogs and I like
I like
a
the Cholo
hairless
dogs.
cat.
Yeah,
But I've only met hairless cats once
at Kat Von D's house.
at Kat Von D's
Yeah.
house. Her cats are they're the only ones that I've met that are like that. But the issue is a lot of them have like oil. They like produce a lot of oil so they could like oil stain things, I
Yeah.
guess. And they also, you have to put like special stuff on them, like
Yeah.
ointment and stuff.
I would love it.
You would. You would totally. I feel like you love like grooming the animals and like doing all of that. I don't. That's why I make you cut hot dog's nails because I don't like to do it.
Yeah, I have to cut the dog's nails tonight, actually.
Anyway,
Well,
we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a little cat nap. And when we come back, tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week. And you don't want to miss it. It's not boring. It's giving. So,
it is giving.
Yeah.
It's giving life.
and death. We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Oh, you are in for it this week because I'm going to be talking about the rare occurrence of being embalmed alive.
How does that happen?
Well, spoiler alert, you can't really be embalmed alive. Well, you can, but you're going to die. Okay, nobody survives being embalmed alive.
Okay, let's hear about this.
So it is a real rarity, so fear not, Geoffs. It most likely won't happen to you, but what if it did?
What if you're that special?
What if you're that one in a million, babe? So in 2018, a 27-year-old named Ekaterina Fedyaeva was undergoing a very routine operation at a Russian hospital, and I believe it was for ovarian cysts.
Okay.
Her mother, Galina, visited her daughter post-surgery and immediately could tell that something was wrong because she was supposed to be like post-care recovery, just coming off of the anesthesia. But when her mom visited her, she was quoted as saying her legs were moving, she had convulsions, her whole body was shaking. I put socks on her and then a robe, then a blanket, but she was shivering to such an extent I can't even describe it. And no doctor came to see her, although she was coming around from anesthetic. Doctors were eventually called in, and suddenly Ekaterina, who should have been recovering from an, again, very routine operation, was now being rushed to the ICU.
Oh.
So, what went wrong? Well, it was discovered that instead of a saline drip, Ekaterina was given a drip containing formalin. So they were essentially pumping her full of formaldehyde.
What?
Yeah. Truly embalming her.
Are you kidding me? During a surgery or after a surgery?
During the surgery. It says her mother, Galina, told the story to the press, saying she went around to find a doctor to know what was happening to her daughter when she found them all huddled together talking about an accident. A horrible mistake has been made.
How do you even make that mistake? Why would they have that fluid on hand?
Well, okay, so she says initially those doctors didn't admit to what happened exactly. Meanwhile, Ekaterina went into a coma. Her heart, lungs, liver all stopped working, and she was hooked up to a ventilator to stay alive. And eventually, Galina spoke to a doctor who wouldn't say exactly what happened still, just that a medical mistake took place. And Ekaterina was rushed to a clinic in Moscow, and multiple life-saving measures took place, but unfortunately, the 27-year-old tragically passed away shortly after the move.
It's so horrible.
It's fucked. A lot of people have questioned, like, how could this happen? And some people have even tried to debunk the story that she was given formalin. There's an article from Vice that said, quote, "The more probable scenario, according to early local reports, is that formalin was accidentally used to sanitize the surgical site before the operation, and that somehow came in contact with her. Like, maybe they used it to clean the IV or something."
Oh, and she like ingested it somehow?
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, it would only take a little bit, but they don't really know.
Sounds fishy to me.
Yeah. That article also said the Minister of Health, Family, and Social Welfare for the district where the incident took place said that Ekaterina's doctors had done everything to remedy the error, including transferring her to Moscow. Unfortunately, it was not possible to save her, he explained. And so I went looking for more information on this, and I came across a blog called Confessions of a Funeral Director on calebwild.com. I think he wrote a book by the name Confessions of a Funeral Director.
Okay.
He said, quote, "I'm still hoping that this is some elaborate hoax, but it doesn't seem to be. This is a once in a billion kind of mistake that could have only been made through a confluence of poorly designed and poorly practiced medical protocols." He added that pure formalin is a much stronger solution than the embalming fluid we use on dead bodies. Formaldehyde is a naturally occurring gas that is highly dissolvable in water. When it's dissolved in water, it's called formalin, which is the liquid that was intravenously given to Ekaterina. Formalin is 40% formaldehyde. Embalming fluid is rated by formaldehyde index. Strong embalming fluid has an index of 28% to 36%. Medium has 19 to 27%, and weak is 10 to 18%. So even our strongest embalming fluid has less formaldehyde than pure formalin, and even much less when we mix the embalming fluid with water.
Whoa.
So even if there was just a little bit, I guess, it still was so strong.
So potent. Yeah.
Yeah. He also added, after we mix the embalming fluid with water, the solution has a much lower amount of formaldehyde, often around 2%. In other words, what was injected into Ekaterina, if it was formalin with 40% formaldehyde, could have been up to 20 times stronger than the embalming fluid I would use in my prep room. And then
Whoa.
he also says, to put it simply, formaldehyde literally rips apart tissue on a molecular level. A slow intravenous drip of formalin would have ripped apart the insides of Ekaterina. This is absolutely torturous, the stuff of nightmares.
Oh.
And leads to the main question, how did she live for 14 hours? Because it was 14 hours in between surgery and when she was moved to Moscow and passed away. And he says, the potency of the fluid is extreme, and although I have no idea how long one could live with a bag of formalin in their system, I have a hard time wrapping my head around 14 hours. The other factor that adds a twist to the story is that formalin has a very potent smell, the kind of smell that burns when you breathe it in.
Oh.
However, or whoever put formalin in the IV bag, and I don't know the protocols for filling IV bags, were either without a sense of smell, extremely dense, or they did it on purpose. My guess is that murder is a legitimate possibility in this case.
Oh, shit.
So
That's
you might be on the nose there. An article on livescience.com said in 2009, doctors in Poland reported a case of a 33-year-old man who survived an IV injection of formaldehyde, which was given by mistake instead of an antibiotic.
How?
The man was injected with 400 milligrams of a 4% formaldehyde solution, which is formaldehyde, not formalin.
Yeah, but
So
why is formaldehyde there?
they gotta keep it put it in a different label or something.
Honey, are they making cigarettes or something?
Oh my God. The man was injected with around 400 milligrams of a 4% formaldehyde solution. In another report, a man died after he was given 30 milliliters of a 37% formaldehyde solution. I just think it's like, there was that one story, I wanted to do a cult leader on it. There was like a nurse, and I remember watching the interview. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but she accidentally gave her patient the wrong drug and it killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a full investigation and trial, and she was arrested and disbarred from nursing, or they took her license away. She was so apologetic, but it is probably so. That's like one thing you fuck up, and it's like,
I know.
damn.
With our OCD,
Oh, I'd be double, triple checking everything.
I'd be video.
Yeah, taking
Because
little
when I go
videos.
home at night, I need to relook.
Oh, because we would go home. We're the type, we'd go home, we'd get into bed and be like,
I gave her
did I give her
formalin.
formalin?
I fucking gave her
I
formalin.
gave her formalin.
Yeah.
God, stressful. Remember the prescription episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that is much
I
more
check
common.
my prescriptions now.
I wanted to find some more stories, but I guess fortunately, it's so rare that there's very little reports of this happening to people online. But I went into the newspaper archives. There's 2 articles that I wanted to share. This is an article from the Chattanooga Daily Times from December 13th, 1951.
Okay.
It says, moonshine victims embalmed alive. Hardly claims bum steer by druggist. It says, quote, Atlanta, a test tube and testimony that victims of a poisonous liquor were embalmed alive were submitted today in the murder trial of John R. Fat Hardy, blamed by the state for 38 deaths. Hardy went on trial yesterday, specifically accused of murder in the death of John Blount. He was one of the 38 who died in October after drinking bootleg liquor. As the trial resumed today, the test tube marked simply John Blount was introduced as a state exhibit. Fulton County criminologist Herman Jones said Blount's blood contained 0.4% methyl alcohol, and that such an amount was sufficient to cause death. Jones was asked by Assistant Solicitor General William Hall to describe the body processes upon consuming methyl alcohol commonly used to soup up race cars.
Whoa.
When it unites with proteins in the body, it becomes formaldehyde. Isn't that an embalming fluid? Hall asked. Yes, sir. Then Blount and these others, in effect, were embalmed alive? Yes, sir. Jones estimated that 1,000 persons could have been killed by the 99 gallons of bootleg liquor distributed in Atlanta last October. He told the jury he thought this estimate was conservative. Hardy took the stand to make an unsworn statement permitted under Georgia law shortly before attorneys began concluding arguments. The 360-pound ex-convict freely admitted buying and mixing the stuff and selling it, but pleaded ignorance. I wouldn't have poisoned anyone intentionally. I haven't got that in my heart. I'd heap rather it kill me than hurt somebody else, Hardy said. The 44-year-old Hardy said the whole tragedy was just a matter of a bum steer by a druggist. After he finally obtained a batch of 120 gallons of scarce moonshine, Hardy related, 2 accomplices insisted it be cut with alcohol to increase the profit. Hardy said he went to a druggist friend, C.B. Wheeler, and Wheeler told him he could mix a certain amount of alcohol with the liquor if he put charcoal in it first. He told me, Hardy continued, this alcohol wouldn't hurt people. He told me to get some charcoal, and if there was any poison, the charcoal would take it out. Wheeler denied, under oath, that he told Hardy any such thing, and said, besides, Hardy was no friend, just an occasional customer. Solicitor General Paul Webb then read the label on the drum from which the state claims the lethal alcohol was drawn. It was flagged dangerous, with the notation that consumption might cause death or blindness. Hardy was the only witness offered by the defense, while the state paraded 12 to the stand to show that Hardy not only mixed the whiskey, but that he resold 37 gallons that had been turned back because it was making people ill. The big man, who more than filled the witness stand, Jesus, said he drank some of the concoction flavored with apple brandy without ill effects. As for that 37 gallons, he admitted reselling it to a bootlegger identified only as Cherry, and said that when he learned the liquor was making people sick, he called Cherry and told him to pour it out.
Wow.
I know. Someone's lying there. Bootlegging, that's a dangerous business.
That is a dangerous business. Someone is lying.
It seems we've always had a morbid curiosity as humans, because on Valentine's Day, actually, February 14th, 1897, an article from the Roanoke Times had a little blurb that said embalmed alive, and I was like, what's this? And I thought it was cool. It says, Professor Maspero, the renowned Egyptologist, is authority for the statement that among the royal mummies unbandaged in 1866 was one of a young man who had evidently been embalmed alive. The body had been tightly bound in 3 places, then coated with bitumen, lime, and pounded rosin, and then wound from head to foot with bandages that had been soaked in some gluttonous preparation. The agonized expression of the face and other evidence gave the scientist their clue. His age was probably about 23. The gold ornaments on his body indicated he was some kind of high rank and likely the victim of some terrible tragedy.
Oh my God.
So, long story short, if you're gonna get embalmed, hopefully you're dead first.
Hopefully you're dead. God.
If you're gonna embalm a body, do all the tricks we've talked about. Shove a flag in their chest, twist the titties.
Twist their tongue.
Yeah.
How does everybody not have anxiety? The things that we have to worry about
Truly.
is wild.
Oh, you just never know. You never fucking know. But what I
Really
do
never
know is that it's time for another break. And when we come back, we're going to hear what had you spinning in your coffin this week.
I'll be ready. I'll be here and ready.
We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week, Hurley?
Hurley.
You was hurling all week.
Oh, I was.
Hurley girly.
That's a good name. I have a quote for us.
Oh, I love a quote.
He who seeks revenge digs 2 graves.
Oh my goodness.
Is that not great?
Put it on
A shirt
a shirt.
or your jeans you just pointed at?
My butt. Tattoo it on my ass.
Yep. There's no grave digging there, honey. All right. So this coffin spinner has gone through so many topic changes. I was first going to write about a few different things, but then, of course, one thing led to another, and I'm here to talk about spite. Yes.
Oh, we love spite.
Spite. A grudge, honey.
Oh, we can hold it.
We can. We love to hear about them, especially in an obituary, but I have some other ways that people have been petty beyond the grave.
A post-mortem gag.
A postmortem gag or
love
anything to do with a funeral or a cemetery, like anything.
Oh, yeah, we love it.
Honey,
Let's
spiteful.
hear it. Let's
Okay.
get into some spite.
Let's get into some spite. So the reason I even stumbled upon this was I read an article about spite houses or spite buildings and then went down a rabbit hole and found a whole funerary aspect to it. So to get us in the mood, I want to talk about spite houses briefly and give just 2 examples because they're hilarious and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Okay.
So a spite house is a building or home that was constructed basically as a big middle finger just to annoy someone.
I love these stories.
I know. Just to annoy someone like a neighbor or a relative, the city, an ex-husband, or just an act of protest against something. Often the homes are weirdly shaped, brightly colored, or just not matching the neighborhood. And they pop up in the most inconvenient places, blocking views, stealing sunlight, or just being plain ridiculous. Remember when we walked around Marblehead when we were in Massachusetts last year?
Love Marblehead.
Okay, well, there is such a famous spite house there, and we probably walked right past it and were so charmed by the whole place that we're like, oh, I love it.
If any of you have experience, like a home in Marblehead or like family that has a home there, can you tell us? I want to know how they ended up having a place in Marblehead.
I know.
It's such a unique little area that we just loved.
Coastal town. You know, they call like the ocean right there the Salem Sound.
I just picture us sitting on a bench, happy as can be. You were eating a sugar cookie the size of my head, and I was having
and
a
we
coffee.
wonder,
Oh, yeah. How'd this happen to her?
We wonder.
And I tried to take a picture of my coffee, and you said, give it up. I was just trying to live in the moment. I loved it. I'm like a mom trying to post a picture of my coffee on my story in Marblehead, and you said, get over it.
Oh, God, what was I going through?
A sugar rush, apparently.
Yeah, probably. Also, I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, do you guys ever drive past a house in your neighborhood and you're like, what the fuck were those people thinking?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this house in my neighborhood that is bright yellow. They just painted it like a year or 2 ago.
God.
This like obnoxious, like I love a happy colored house. I love
I do too, but I don't
a
like
yellow.
I don't like a fun color house. I'm not into that.
Not almost neon, but I drove past it today and I was like, you know what? Maybe that person just was being petty and did it out of spite. And so I actually approve now.
Okay.
And so now I love it. Okay, but back to Marblehead. So the old Spite House in Marblehead is 300 years old, and it's possibly the first Spite House in the United States, and it's only 10 feet wide. It's a little house, but it's tall. Because it's so old, there are a ton of different stories and like legends, but they're all about these two brothers. And the one that makes the most sense to me is that two brothers inherited land and they just could not agree on anything. So one brother goes ahead and builds this big, beautiful home on the land. And this land overlooks the ocean there. Like it's probably worth millions of dollars now. So he goes and builds this house. Well, the other brother still owns the land too and is like pissed off that the brother built this home. And so he decides to build this tall, skinny home right next to it. He built it in a way that blocks all the like sunlight and all the views from this house. So that's it. That little skinny part is the
It's a good luck.
is the Spite House. Okay, another Spite House. They're all over the place, by the way. There's one, I can't remember where I read about it. This person painted their house in like rainbow colors because they were right by the Westboro Baptist Church.
It's directly across the street from it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. This next one I love. It's called the Pink House and it's in Newburyport in Massachusetts. In 1925, a husband and wife are getting divorced, which in 1925, oh my
Love
God.
it. Good for her.
I know. The wife finally agrees to the divorce, but she only agrees as long as her husband builds her an exact replica of their cute home together.
Okay.
Okay, so he's like, fuck, like, I want to get out of this marriage. Okay, I'll do it. But he's pissed that he has to do it, right? So he fucking builds her a replica of this house, but she never specified where it had to be. So he chooses the middle of nowhere on a salt marsh. And I don't know anything about salt marshes, but apparently if your house is built on a salt marsh, you don't have any fresh running water. And so look at this. It's like this little house in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, I love it. That's a petty move.
Isn't that petty?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So anyway, there are a ton of examples I could talk about all day, but on to what makes this a coffin spinner. We have to include some death here. The Spite Cemetery I want to talk about. And Spence, it's in your favorite place, a place you will be visiting soon, Vermont.
Love Vermont.
If you're close, I really
Where in
hope
Vermont is it?
in Reading.
Oh, Reading.
Was it Reading?
I don't know if it's Reading or Reading.
It's spelt like reading, but I don't know. You and the champ have to check it out if you're
We're
close.
going after our Boston show, which, by the way, is still, it's October 25th
Yes.
at City Winery. So please get
Show
your
up.
tickets.
The Spite Cemetery is there. And that's like the legit name of it. And it's because it was built out of spite. Here's the story. So in 1794, there was this man named Levi Bailey. And he purchases this beautiful land in Vermont. On the land, he has a mill and a dam. And over the next few years, his land and his business became super successful. He had a wool factory and huge wool mills. He had employees who lived on the property.
Well, yeah, he did the Burlington, after Burlington, Vermont, the Burlington Coat Factory.
Oh, really?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, shit. Okay. Love it. Let's go with it. Well, no, he didn't because, well, maybe he did. I don't know. Anyway, he had employees who lived on the property and the whole thing was going great. He was manufacturing wool. Things were going so great that by 1808, he wanted to expand his business, but he needed more land to do so. So there was this land that technically his neighbor owned, but his neighbor wasn't using it. It was like across the street. And his neighbor's name was Mr. Hapgood. And so Bailey would ask Mr. Hapgood all the time, like, hey, can I please buy that land? I really want to expand my business. Well, Mr. Hapgood was like, no, you're not expanding your business onto property that is rightfully mine, even if you buy it. Like, you're not going to do that. And so I guess like heated words kept being exchanged. Bailey even said to Mr. Hapgood, like, okay, well, I'm going to get it when you die, just so you know. And so Mr. Hapgood
He
was
said, by the way.
by the way, but Mr. Hapgood was like, you know what? He's fucking right. So he's like, you know what? No, he's not going to get it when I die. I'm going to donate this piece of land to the city, but only to use it as a burial ground. And so he donates it to the city. And by 1829, it was a legit cemetery. Mr. Hapgood was the first to be buried there. So Bailey not only couldn't have the land, but now had to see it and see tombstones just be erected in it constantly.
Oh.
But then in 1850, Bailey gets Mr. Hapgood back because he makes arrangements for when he dies to be buried right by Mr. Hapgood.
He's like, I'm going to fuck with you even in death.
Yes, the cemetery is literally called Spite Cemetery. And today, Bailey's property, which was like the wool mills, is now Bailey Mills Bed and Breakfast. And the cemetery is still right there. I have a picture of it.
I love it.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Or funny? Next, we have the Moriarty Monument, which is in New Orleans, and it's in the Mater Cemetery. In this cemetery, there is this monument that is 80 feet tall. It's huge. It's the tallest monument in all of New Orleans cemeteries, which New Orleans has so many cemeteries, I feel like. So the story is there's this man named Daniel A. Moriarty. He immigrated to New Orleans from Ireland, and this was in the 1800s. He was poor, and he kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. He had an Irish accent, the whole thing. Well, he meets and falls in love with an older woman named Mary Farrell. They truly loved each other, I think, and worked really well together. They got into business together and became really successful. He wasn't financially struggling anymore. Then they got into real estate together and became really, really successful. Like, they were wealthy. They try making friends with like the who's who's of the New Orleans upper society, but that society was like, fuck you guys, you're not native to New Orleans, so bye. Like, we don't like you. We don't care how much money you have. You're not native to here.
Oh.
So that didn't sit right with Mr. Moriarty, and he never forgot about that. Fast forward to 1887, his wife Mary dies, and she's buried in that cemetery. A few years later, in 1905, he commissions that Moriarty monument to be built in her honor, and he wanted it to be 80 feet tall and the largest monument there because he's like, I need her to be able to look down on everyone who rejected her. She will not be ignored by upper society.
Oh, I love this.
Looking above everyone.
I love it.
Love it. Okay, this next one is called Twin Maiden's Tomb. And this story was hard to find, but shout out to grunge.com because anything else on this is in Chinese and it was very hard to translate. The story is 1,000 years ago in Nanjing, China, this man had twin daughters. He was very poor and was really struggling to make ends meet. So he sold his daughters off to two older men who marry them. The twins are miserable and they end up dying by suicide. The town is like these young twin girls just died and they were just beside themselves and they were worried that they would hold a grudge and come back and haunt the town. So they erect this like huge gravestone in their honor on very fertile land so that they wouldn't come back and haunt the town. But that grunge article says that in present day, a 62-year-old man tried to grow crops near it and he got super sick. And to get better, everyone was like, you need to respect the tomb and clean it and take care of it. And it worked and he got better. And that's the tomb. It's like just some random tomb in the middle of
a crop field.
Okay, and then lastly, I was looking through the newspaper archives to find any more. There are actually a ton that I would like to save for a part 2 because I just love these stories, but I loved this story from 1905 from the Evening Star. It says, established for spite. At least one dog cemetery owes its comparative accessibility to spite. A certain woman entered into a deal with a real estate man, and after it was all over, she became thoroughly convinced that she had been stuck for fair. As the saying is, I think that just means she got fucked over. She then began planning her revenge, and remembering that she numbered among her friends a veterinarian. She offered to sell him the half-dozen acres she owned, adjoining the property she had sold to the real estate man as a site for his country home, provided, however, that the veterinarian would start a dog cemetery with the land. The woman and the veterinarian quickly came to terms, and today the Spite Dog Cemetery, as it is called in the countryside, contains the bodies of some 300 dogs, mostly former pets of the smart set folk. The veterinarian in question boasting of a very select clientele. To bury a dog decently, that is, according to the ideas of the dog cemetery owners, is a pretty expensive bit of business. A single plot costs $10. $2 covers the cost of grave digging. Coffins vary in price from $5 to $50 to $100, according to size and material. A plain tin headpiece with the grave number is 50 cents. Stone and marble head and foot pieces can be had at $10 and up, way up. And then there's the keep of the grave until the poignancy, at least, has worn off the grief. Bearing in mind the opening paragraphs of this article, as well as those following, it is in order to remark that the depths of human gratefulness and silly sentimentality can be seen to decided advantage in a dog cemetery. So it's 1905 talk, but basically this woman is selling property and is fucked over by this guy who bought some of her property to build his country home. And she's like, I'm going to use the rest of this property to make a fucking dog cemetery. And this fool has to look at it.
Good.
I love it. It's a spite pet cemetery.
It's so good.
Oh, and that's it for Spite this week.
That was incredible. Honestly, you know what? There's so many beautiful things inspired by spite.
There really is.
And speaking of spite, I think you felt a lot of spite towards that restaurant this week.
That veggie burger, yeah.
And it's time to move into obituaries, and I have a very fitting one, a very old fitting one that says, food poisoning suspected.
Oh, no.
A Bilston man's death after a meal.
God, Spencer.
I wanted a theme. Suspected food poisoning with one fatal result has occurred at Eddingshall, Bilston. The victim of the tragedy, the cause of which is so far a mystery, was Frederick John Brooker, aged 63 of 33 Vale Street. He was taken ill at the same time as one of his daughters and his son-in-law last Saturday and died on Sunday. The daughter and son-in-law are stated now to be convalescent.
Oh, God.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Convalescent means they're, like, recovering, though, so.
I thought of, like, convulsing.
Well, like, think of, like, convalescent home.
I thought they were all convulsing.
They're just wiggling there. Yeah, those are called wiggle homes.
It's a bunch of worms.
They're just in their beds, like, ooh.
I want to go.
We already went to a wiggle room, honey. We got 5150 to
I wasn't wiggling in there. I was fighting for my life in there.
God, I was banging my head against a wall. They had to tie me down.
God, there was a woman that got naked and threw her suitcase at all my shit. Okay.
Who do you got?
I have an obituary that was sent in to us from a Geoff.
Okay.
And it's sweet. It's for Joseph. He was 55. He passed away on December 9th, 2021. He was born on December 20th, 1965. Joseph grew up in Stephenville, Texas, helping his parents with their businesses, playing with his two great friends, Jay and Brad, and being third wheel to his sister. He was a middle child through and through. Joseph graduated from Stephenville High School and soon after joined the Air Force. He would soon find out the Air Force wasn't for him and would soon find himself in many jobs, with the winner being a truck driver. As a truck driver, Joseph saw the world. He saw every state and every sunset and sunrise. He saw the beauty and magic in this world. On one of his many visits to trucker bars, it would land him meeting Susan. They later married and had 2 children. Joseph loved them so much that eventually he decided to quit the hustle and bustle of truck driving for a 9 to 5. But in Joseph's case, it became a 10 to 7. Joseph worked night shift at Cisco Foods for years, where he worked himself up to the night manager. He took incredible pride in his work. He battled an addiction behind closed doors, addiction beyond words with alcohol. He didn't know when to stop. This would soon land him in legal trouble and eventually prison. Joseph served 12 years for a crime he committed in 1987. Joseph was released in 2018. He began to try to mend things and move on, trying to put the pieces of a broken family, especially when it was half the family, was harder than they ever dreamt. Amanda watched her father change within the walls of a prison cell, and then go to watch him love her daughter. The alcoholic she once knew was now a follower of Jesus who wore a cross and prayed, and boy did Joseph love his granddaughter. He took so much pride in his title as Papa. He received the diagnosis of stage 4 spinal cancer in November of 2021 after only 3 years of being out of prison. In his pain, he chose to give his granddaughter his last great memories. He attended her birthday, took her to see Christmas lights, and spent his last Thanksgiving with her. Their relationship was a phenomenal one. On the day of his passing, she said, "Mama, he isn't suffering anymore. He is with Jesus." And then there's preceded and survived by. There are no funeral services. He will be cremated at his request.
Okay, what's the twist?
Okay, so
I know when there's going to be a twist.
I know. Okay, so
Talking to a lifetime aficionado.
I know. This was sent in by a Geoff. They said, "Just your friendly Canadian Geoff writing you to share an insane story that I came across recently. So first things first, here's the man's obituary, which we just read." They go on to say, "Nothing too out of the ordinary with that obituary, right? Did you catch the quick little blurb about serving 12 years in prison for a crime he committed? What they seem to downplay is the fact that the crime was the rape and murder of a woman
What?
that he hung out in the same group as. It took the police around 19 years to figure out it was him who did it. The victim, Susan Woods, Maiden Atkins, and her husband Michael had just split up after a nasty fight. They had been living in her hometown, a small town named Stephenville in Texas. Michael was a long-haired motorcyclist who'd moved in from out of town. Everyone thought it was Michael who killed her, especially the detective that was on her case, even though he was in Indianapolis at the time and his DNA didn't match evidence from the scene. In the almost 2 decades that it took police to connect Hatley to the crime, Michael Woods lived in fear as he was under suspicion. It wasn't until after the FBI had their electronic fingerprint database that they connected Hatley to the crime in 2006. He was in the database for a 1988 armed robbery he committed in Las Vegas. A disturbing detail is that he attended Susan's funeral and signed the guest book.
No.
A year after the murder, he beat and raped a teenage girl multiple times and told her that he'd kill her before.
What the fuck?
When he was interviewed by police regarding Susan, his wife told the investigators he had been beating and sexually assaulting herself as well. So the wife said it too. And the wife was mentioned in the obituary. She had MS and was in a wheelchair. Despite the multiple assaults and crimes reported against him, he only served 11 years for the murder of Susan as he was released early. Following his release from prison in 2021, he died alone from cancer in an RV. An investigator found Hatley's writing, well over 200 pages, where he detailed his life and motive for doing what he did. He was a sick, twisted loser of a man, and I hope he's rotting in hell. Anyway, pretty wild that the obituary was written the way it is, considering the kind of man he was. I heard about this story from another podcast called Small Town Murder. If you want to hear the full details of this case, I highly suggest giving it a listen. I left so much out. Love you girlies, Sid.
Wow.
Is that not wild?
Nuts.
It just goes to show.
You never fucking know.
I wonder if there are any like sweet obituaries that we've read and laughed at, and there's like a a criminal past connected.
Truly. Who
never know.
knows? Yeah.
God. Well, thank you, Sid, for sending that in. That was insane. And now we should just go ahead and laugh.
All right. We've spun in our coffins.
We've bitched our obituaries.
Means it's time for some dumb
Ass
criminals.
Who do you got?
Who do you got? I have this story from Austin, Texas, which we were just in. Miss you already.
Miss you already.
I miss that Torchy's queso. So good. I know there's better queso, but don't fucking do it. But as far as just grabbing some queso,
We don't have queso here.
Torchy's is great. Okay, I love it. But this is a story from Austin, Texas. My mouth is watering. Oh, girl, I hope you don't have food poisoning next week when you have to edit this because
I know.
Okay, this is from fox7austin.com.
Okay.
December 13th, 2023. A California woman was arrested after police said she stole her Austin Uber driver's car because she claimed the driver was going too slow. And I feel that so hard. It says, according to the arrest affidavit, on December 10th around 12:28 a.m., an Uber driver picked up 27-year-old Nusha Afkami from a hotel to take her to the Austin airport. On the way, the Uber driver said Afkami appeared upset due to how long it was going to take to get to the airport. While driving, the Uber driver had her phone in hand. Afkami took the phone, threw it out the window, which prompted the driver to stop the car and exit to get her phone. As the driver got out of the car, Afkami got into the driver's seat and drove off, leaving the Uber driver stranded.
The Uber driver had to call an Uber.
Officers got the information and found the Uber driver's car abandoned in front of a terminal. Before Afkami could board the plane, she was found by police, and when questioned, she said she and the Uber driver were arguing over how long the driver was going to take. She told the Uber driver, "I need to get to the airport, so I'm going to take your car and drop it off at Southwest." She tried to spin a story. She tried to say, like, I told them, like, I'm just going to...
We had an agreement.
Yeah, the Uber driver said, "I'll get out of my own car while you drive it to the Southwest."
Yeah.
It was also noted that Afkami stole the Uber driver's wallet and used a credit card for several items at a store inside the airport.
Oh, she's no good.
She is just having fun. She spent $120 on items that were all found in her possession, including a shot glass and candy.
You know what? Things are expensive at the airport. Things are expensive.
The incident prompted warnings from an attorney about the dangers of rideshare. Attorney Quentin Brogdon said since 2015, he's received calls about scary situations involving rideshares. It's a pleasant fiction to think it's just the evolution of getting into a taxi. The problem is, it is very, very different. It's not a safe industry, in my opinion, for either the drivers or the passengers. But
Oh my God.
it says Fox 7 Austin called Afkami to get her side of the story, and she said she was at an appointment and to call back. When we did, she didn't answer.
Damn.
I just thought that was crazy, but I've also had that feeling of being like, just go, come on, man.
Not in New York. Those Uber drivers fucking.
You feel like you're in a magic car that can drive small in between other cars.
Oh my God. You know how many times I thought we were going to hit someone?
Oh.
It's just the New Yorkers. They can just drive.
They just do it, baby.
They just do it. Okay, well, speaking of cars, I have one that's been making the rounds, honey. This is from today.com, but literally everybody has been talking about this. It says, this is fucking crazy. An 8-year-old Ohio girl is home safe after she took her mother's car and drove to Target 25 minutes away as her family and police searched for her.
Love.
She stole her mom's car. I mean,
remember that little kid who did, and it went viral, and it was like,
I do hood rat things. With
yeah,
my friends.
yeah. I loved that.
Loved that. According to a Bedford Police Department service report obtained by
Wait,
today.com,
how old is she? Did it say?
she's 8.
8 years old?
8 years old. Have you seen the video of this?
No.
Okay, I'll show you. Officers responded to a 911 call on September 15th, just before 9 a.m., after the family discovered the girl was missing. They reported that the 8-year-old was last seen by the family nearly 2 hours earlier. A neighbor...
You know what? I'm sorry, but I did have a video pop up. I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok, and it was someone being like, that is a little kid driving.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but the dash cam video came out
Of her?
of her swerving, honey.
Yes. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Is she in like a white SUV?
Yes.
Okay, I have.
She was in a white 2020 Nissan Rogue.
Oh, and she was going rogue, baby.
A neighbor gave the family and responding officers their Ring camera footage of the young girl getting into the car by herself, driving off around 7 a.m.
She had shit to do.
I mean, Target, man, she did. Police in the area searched for the missing child. Dash cam footage from another driver who can be heard calling authorities shows the Nissan Rogue weaving in between lanes as the young girl drove the vehicle. The Bainbridge Target is just over 11 miles southwest of the child's home. Google Maps estimates the fastest route following the average speed limit would take an adult driver around 25 minutes. Officers found the girl inside of the Target, and her family came to pick her and the car up.
She got in so much trouble.
Oh my God.
She needs to go on Dr. Phil from the sounds of it. Or they need to call that super nanny. She sounds like a bad little kid.
Can you look at this?
Oh my God. That's fucking wild. What would you do if you saw that?
I'd call the cops. What do you do? What do you mean? I'd immediately get off the road.
Listen, if you're 8 years old and you're listening to this, watch a few videos on how to drive first.
Bitch, don't.
Come on.
No.
Let him drive.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
dumb.
God. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Bunch of dum-dums. Well, I think that's a great place to leave it for the week. I want to go to Target now. So we might just do that. But that is where we're going to leave it for the week. If you want to follow along on all our adventures, go to patreon.com/cultleader. But everything else can be found on our website, obituarypodcast.com, including tickets to upcoming shows. And, of course, Obituary, the Big Hot Book of Death, the perfect Halloween gift.
And the holidays, too, are around the corner. Come on.
Oh, come on. If you're in the
Gift-giving season.
You're in the car being forced to listen to this by your spouse.
If you're being driven by an 8-year-old somewhere and you just need to zone out, buy the book.
Buy the book. But that's it for the week. We will see you next week with some more coffin spinners.
Obituaries.
Dumb
Ask
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.